Namaste yogis. In this video we're going to be going over Chaturanga Dandasana. So Chaturanga Dandasana is a super foundational pose within our yoga practice, and it's also really important when you're flowing through a sequence of yoga postures that is also known as a vinyasa. So as you're ready, we're going to go ahead and start off in our standing Tadasana pose. If you haven't gone over Tadasana, I'll go ahead and tag the video here, and you can work your way up to Chaturanga Dandasana by going over the foundational poses, which include your mountain pose, your forward fold, your halfway lift, and your plank pose. So without further ado, let's get to it. So finding a standing posture, standing in your Tadasana mountain pose, giving yourself a moment here to make sure that the feet are hips width apart, making sure that the feet are connected to the earth beneath you, and just making sure that you are feeling that connection to your breath and that connection to your body. And just giving yourself a moment here. And then as you're ready to do so, go ahead and with an inhale, bring the hands up, palms come together, gaze up at the hands. And then as you exhale, hinge at the waist, come into your forward fold here. Then with an inhale, come up, halfway lift, and lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, coming into your plank. So remember here in your plank pose, you have the option of coming right into your plank and starting to get the body and the muscles firing and engaging. Or you also have the option of hovering the knees or lowering the knees all the way down. So if you're in your plank pose, we're going to have two options for our Chaturanga Dandasana, but in this video I'm only going to be going over. So now coming into our Chaturanga Dandasana, what this pose is going to look like is from our plank pose, we're going to start shifting our weight forward, shifting our weight forward, shifting our weight forward, so that the shoulders come directly over or even a little bit in front of the wrists. And then from here with an exhale, we're going to bend at the elbows and we're going to hinge here into our Chaturanga Dandasana. Now, what's important in this Chaturanga Dandasana is that we want to make sure that the elbows are as close to the body as possible. But we go over that in our plank pose. So from our plank pose, we should already have our hands directly underneath the shoulders. And by having our hands directly underneath the shoulders, that already helps us have our elbows next to the side ribs. But again, I'm just going over it here in case, just to emphasize its importance. And what I was originally going to say that's most important here is that we want to make sure that there's a 90-degree angle between our shoulders, our wrist, our elbow, and our shoulder. So I know oftentimes I have a tendency of coming into my Chaturanga in like this, where that angle isn't maintained. So that is one of the reasons why I'm going over its importance of really making sure that when we go down, and if you have a mirror, you can look in a mirror and practice that, but we want to make sure that the elbows are in that 90-degree angle, and we also want to make sure that the elbow is directly in line with the shoulder. We don't want the shoulders dropping underneath the elbow, so we want to practice that 90-degree angle, and then we hold it there. It's a pretty challenging pose to hold. You can definitely warm up beforehand, or even build some strength through it. But yeah, that is our Chaturanga Dandasana which then leads into our next pose, which we'll go over in another video. But again, just going over it one last time, from our plank pose, we want to make sure that we shift our weight forward and that we bend down, keeping the shoulders in line with the elbows and keeping the gaze, your focus, a little bit forward and in front. So that does it for our practice for today, for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them in the comments below. And yeah, as I said, looking in front of a mirror is a great way to practice your Chaturanga Dandasana. So thank you for joining me and have a beautiful day. Namaste.